What's up, y'all? Hope everybody's having a good day or a good night whenever you see this video. So, I kind of feel called to talk about being there for each other. Not just in relationships, but in any kind of relationship, friendship, family dynamics, whatever. When somebody is, having an episode or feeling triggered or, just anything like that. And really wanted to touch up on give me a second. I want to say a lot at once. So this happens to me every single time. My brain works faster than my mouth. So I feel like I don't believe that relationships should be 50-50. That's kind of me though. I feel like people should compliment each other, and I kind of feel like, there's going to be days where it is 50-50, but then there should also be days where if, say one of you is sick one day, that person's at 20%. All right, I got you. I got the extra 80%. Or, somebody was having a bad day because of something that happened at work or something, or, dealing with road rage or whatever. And so now they're kind of at like 40%. Don't worry, I got you. I got the extra 60%. You know what I mean? I feel like that's how relationships should be. Whether it's an actual romantic relationship, a friendship, whatever. If somebody is not feeling 100% that day, do not worry. That is what I am here for. I will pick up the rest of that percentage. Now, if you're with somebody who's like, nah, like you kind of gonna have to have your own thing. I'm talking about in a romantic relationship. If somebody is like that with you, then what's the point? Why are we in this? We're supposed to be each other's backbone. We're supposed to rock hard with each other. Like, what's the whole point of us being together if you're not going to do that for me? If I'm having a bad day at work and I want to come home and talk to you about it, and you're going to sit here and kind of be like, I don't want to hear about that. What is the point of the other person? And I don't mean to say that. I know I kind of sound like I'm yelling and things like that, but I don't know. This just kind of just popped into my head while I was just chilling up at home. I was cleaning, actually, not just chilling, but it's my day off, and I was just cleaning, and it just kind of popped into my head, and I was thinking about it. So I was like, you know what? I should make a video on this. So here we are. So I apologize if I sound like I'm yelling, but I'm kind of passionate about this because I'm actually like, I'm on this right now because I don't know. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I don't know. I feel like that's the whole point of somebody being people being in a relationship with each other. If I'm having a bad day and I want to come home and talk about it with you and you don't want to hear about it, what's the whole point of you? What is that phrase when you get married? In sickness and in health. I'm pretty sure that's not just with actual sickness, it's with everything. Whether you're having a good day, whether you're having a bad day, whether you are in a happy mood, whether you're in a bad mood, I am here for you. I am here for you. Because that is what you're supposed to have signed up for when you sign up for a relationship. And if you don't want to do that, then it's not that hard to just exit your way out. I don't have you here by a lock and key. And I'm just saying, as you know, I'm just talking, I'm just saying. But y'all know what I mean. I don't have you by a lock and key. You can leave. You can leave. What do I look like sitting here trying to force somebody to be with me? Really? What do I look like sitting here trying to force somebody to be with me? That's kind of wild. Like, I do not have you by a lock and key. You can leave whenever you want. I'm not trying to sit here having forced nobody to be here with me. That's crazy. That's crazy. The love wouldn't be genuine if I'm sitting here trying to force somebody to be with me. You know? That's wild. I'm sure for a lot of people, you know, when they love somebody, they'll pursue and things like that, and they'll make it known. You know, who doesn't? Who wouldn't? They like that person. Who wouldn't? You know? But it's like, at the end of the day, if that person's not making it known, like, hey, I'm not that interested in you, then it's like, hey, I'm gonna sit here and keep pursuing. Then this kind of went into a whole different well, this kind of took a turn, but you know, it's coming out for a reason. If you're sitting there pursuing somebody, and you know, and they're not telling you like, hey, I don't feel that way about you or anything like that, you are not doing anything wrong. Okay? That means that that person is leading you on, because they're not being upfront with you and saying, hey, I do not feel that way about you. But if they stand there being like, hey, I'm just not ready for a relationship, but we can sit here and we can talk, we can flirt, we can do all that. But then it's like, they're gonna sit here and not tell you, I do not want to be with you. I'm not messing with you like that. That is not your fault. If you are pursuing, that is not your fault. Because it's like, it takes two to tango. If you're sitting there and you flirting and they flirting back, that is not your fault. Okay? For anybody that needed to hear that, it is not your fault. But going back into, you know, people being each other's backbones in a relationship. If somebody does something that's sketchy, right? We're gonna talk about red flags for a minute. If somebody is doing something that's sketchy, right? And it's triggering you, giving you intrusive thoughts, and I'm somebody who learned in therapy that instead of sitting there and feeding that intrusive thought, just ask that person, what did that mean? I'm sure I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. Instead of sitting there making more assumptions, feeding that intrusive thought, just ask that person that triggered you, what did it mean? Or why did you do that? Or whatever question you need to ask, just to get the actual reality of the situation. You know what I mean? And if that person is defensive with whatever response that you ask, then that is a red flag. I'm telling you right now, that is a red flag. It's like, why are you getting so defensive over me just asking you a simple question? I'm not yelling at you. Especially if you're not doing it in an antagonizing way. And they become defensive, that is a red flag. I'm telling you right now, that is a red flag. Especially if they know that you have intrusive thoughts. If that person knows that you've been cheated on before in a past relationship, so if they do certain things and you ask them questions and they sit there and they get defensive, it's a red flag. It is a red flag, because they know if you verbally told them, hey, I have been cheated on before in the past. So when certain actions are done, when certain things are said, or whatever the case, I'll get triggered. So if I ask you questions, that is because I am trying not to let my mind come up with all these scenarios that probably aren't even the reality of the situation. If that person knows that and become defensive when you ask them a question about something that seems a little sketchy. I'm telling you, that is a red flag. That is a red flag. And especially if you have a feeling that something is wrong after they become defensive, like, follow that feeling. Follow it. Follow that feeling, because you tried. And that is when the ball is in your court, and you have to have that conversation with yourself. Am I going to stay in this situation? Because it's going to happen, whether you have a healthy mind or not. When somebody becomes defensive like that, over the top over you just asking them a question about why something seems sketchy, your mind is going to race, and it's like, okay, and you're going to automatically start having these thoughts like, oh, they must be talking to somebody, or I don't know, that was a little sketchy, this, just having these thoughts. And some people might even go as far as like, maybe I should check their phone, maybe I should start paying attention to where they go out all the time, maybe this, maybe that. And that is when you have to have that conversation with yourself, because when that starts happening, that is you putting yourself out of your peace. Okay? When that starts happening, that's you getting out of your peace. Nobody should be making you feel that way. Okay? So when that happens, again, you need to ask yourself, should I stay in this? Is this healthy for me? I shouldn't be feeling like this. I shouldn't be feeling like I can't trust somebody. What's the point in that? If you can't trust someone, that is your time to make moves, okay? And if they come to you and they apologize and they're like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have reacted that way, let's talk about it, that's different. If they come to you and they do that, that's cool. And then they make the necessary changes to not have you feel that way again, beautiful. Because again, like, especially if you're just getting to know each other and you're still figuring out y'all's kinks and things like that, they don't know. But if they totally try to like switch it up on you and try to point the finger at you and say that, hey, it's your problem, I'm not in charge of how you feel, which, they are not wrong. They're not in charge of how you feel. But that's the whole point of you asking the questions, is so that you don't feel a certain type of way about it. But if they automatically get defensive, red flag. I'm going to keep saying it. Red flag. Red flag. Do not let anybody manipulate you. Do not let anybody gaslight you. I'm telling you, it's going to start messing with your mind. It's going to start messing with your mind. And you should never give anybody that power. Ever. You should never give anybody that power over you. Ever. Never. You are too good of a person to let anybody have that kind of power over you and try to play you like you don't know what you're talking about. If you have a bad feeling, follow that feeling and take yourself out of that situation. Again, if they come to you and they apologize and they try to make changes and make an effort, that's different. But if they don't and they really standing on the problem is you, then that's okay. That's okay. I'll just exit myself out. That's okay. I'll find somebody. If you feel like the way I think is is too much, that's all right. I'll find somebody else who can who can deal with my intrusive thoughts when it's really nothing to deal with. whoever, whoever has experienced that, who's had triggers like that, because it's happened before. People have been cheated on. It's happened. And it's like, if you're not going to, I'm sitting here trying to not assume that you're cheating, and you're going to sit here and be defensive about it. Again, I'm just saying, just for a scenario. But I'm just saying, like, for anybody that has gone through that, like, why would you stay in a situation like that? Don't do it. Don't do it. It's going to start messing with you. It's going to start messing with you. Now, if you are somebody who goes through those triggers and you have those intrusive thoughts because you have been cheated on before, and maybe you've been cheated on multiple times, it is okay to go to a therapist. It's okay. Especially if you're someone who grew up in a society or in a household where they made it seem like going to talk to somebody means that you're crazy. It's not. It's not. Honestly, it's really nice to have an unbiased opinion, because most of the time, family members, friends, they want to support you in any way that they can. So they'll tell you things that you want to hear more than half the time. Yes, if you do have those family members and those friends who will tell you when you're wrong, that's awesome. But most of the time, though, most people have people who tell them things that they want to hear. Most of the time, they have people who will tell them things that they want to hear. So that's why it's nice to have somebody who's not in your life like that to give you good advice, whether it's something that you need to improve on, or to let you know, like, you handle that situation fine, But honestly, I'm gonna tell whoever, like, if you are thinking about going to therapy, or if you've tried going to therapy and it didn't go well for you because of the person or whoever, finding a good therapist is kind of like a friendship or a relationship. It's like any kind of relationship. It's gonna take time for you to actually find somebody that you vibe with, who you feel like who actually, cares, because I've experienced that, where I've gone to a couple counselors, therapists, whatever you want to call them, where I felt like they didn't really care, or like I barely told them anything, and they're like, oh, well, this and that, and I think I'm like, I barely even told you anything. Like, relax. Relax. It maybe took me like maybe 4 therapists until I found 4 or 5, 3 or 4, until I actually found somebody that I was like, okay, I think you cool. So if you are somebody who feels like they need to talk to someone, or you tried and it didn't work out, try again. I'm telling you, it takes time to find somebody who's actually somebody that you feel like you can connect with and actually trust to tell deep information about yourself too. But I don't know why I had to take a I had to take a breather just now. I did, though. I felt like that was really much needed to come and talk about. It like randomly popped into my head, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. Because a lot of people just like to project that somebody is being a certain kind of way, and it's like, no, like I'm really trying to go about it in a healthy way. If you're somebody that has gone through therapy and they probably told you something to handle it that way, because that's what they told me, to handle it in that way. If something triggers me, If something that a person says triggers me, just ask, what did that mean? You know, so that you're not sitting here making up scenarios that probably aren't even real. So if you're somebody that has also, you know, if you're somebody that has also gotten that information and, you know, you try to do that, like, it's serious. I'm seriously just trying to, like, make it healthier for the both of us. And you're sitting here fighting me. But then if I sit here and I just randomly be like, hey, I know you cheating on me. I know you are. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not how you're coming at the person, you know? You're literally just asking a simple question like, what did that mean? Or why was that like this? Or, you know, something like that. And they get defensive. I'm telling you, it's a red flag. It's a red flag. It's a red flag. Relationships are supposed to be support. It's supposed to be, you know, it's not supposed to be something that you rely on the other person. They're supposed to add on to your life. And, you know, if you're sitting there wanting to vent to them about your day, that's not relying on them. That's just, you know, you're supposed, whoever you're in a relationship with, they're also supposed to be your best friend. They're supposed to know everything about you. So what, I was just supposed to come home after I had a bad day and I'm going to be sitting there looking angry. And you're going to be sitting there wondering, why is she so angry? Or why is he so angry? What's wrong? Is it me? Well, you told me you don't want to hear about my day anymore, so that's why I'm over here quiet. And you just have to wait until I feel better. That doesn't even make any sense. If you don't want to hear about my day, if you don't want to hear about my day, if you don't and know what's making me upset, then what is the point of you being here? And vice versa. If you're trying to sit here and talk to me about your day, and I'm sitting here like on my phone or playing the game or, you know, doing anything but listening to you, then it's like, what are you here for? You know, what are we doing this for? What are we doing this for? It makes no sense. Makes no sense. It makes no sense. we just wasting each other's time, taking up each other's space at this point. Like, what's the point? What is the point? Just just makes no sense. It makes no sense. But yeah, you know, then they want to say that you're the crazy one. You're the one that's too much. You're the one that's this and that. Okay, I guess if that's what you want to believe, please go ahead and believe it at this point. I'm not sitting here trying to convince nobody of nothing. Convince nobody of nothing. But yeah, it also too. It's kind of like, why? For anybody out there, you know, do I seem like I need to? And again, I'm not saying I, like me on a personal level, but it's still, you know, me, you, whoever. Why would you want to force somebody to be with you? Why would you want to do that? The love wouldn't be genuine. It wouldn't. The love would not be genuine. I don't need to tie nobody down to me. I don't need to sit here and control anybody to be with me. I don't need to do none of that. None of it. Because again, the love would not be genuine. The love wouldn't be genuine. And again, like I was saying with everything else, that wouldn't make any logical sense, would it? Would it? Would it? because it's kind of like, if you're sitting here and you're not telling somebody, I'm not that interested either at all, you know, if you're just talking to that person, or anymore if you've been with them for a while and they just lose interest and they don't tell you, that is not your fault. Especially if you're somebody who likes to pursue. If that is one of your love language and you are somebody who likes to pursue, it is not your fault. Okay? It's not your fault. I could keep going, but I feel like I should just stop right there. I feel like I kind of got my message across with this one. It's a little bit of a shorter video, but I feel like I got there. What y'all think? It's my day off, so I am feeling very relaxed. I slept. When I tell y'all I slept last night, slept my week. I was so busy this week. It was crazy. I was so busy that I started my energy just felt so depleted. Like I was literally running on E on my last shift at work, because already for my job I already have to socialize with people, so I was just like, wow. So I got home after I clocked out, got home, took a shower. Once I laid down, sleep just took me. It took me out, I tell you. But it was beautiful, because I want to say I slept for like a full 10 hours. It was beautiful. I mean, I usually sleep 8 hours anyway, but yeah, 10 hours though. I could have slept longer, but I was like, nah, I gotta get up. I had to move something. So it was beautiful though. It was beautiful. But I hope y'all having a good day, and I will see y'all in the next video.